incredible supermarket. You've never seen anything like it before.
Can we invest? Can I invest in it?
Table to seed. Table to seed.
All righty, Rick, thank you very much. All right, so we got a little special guest we want to bring on real quick to end the show. Rick. Oh, okay, that's okay. Don't shake my hand. Look at this. It looks like a college party on camera right now with all these beers. So look at this. Look at this. Mr. Hee, come on down. So if you guys don't know him, is he not here? Don't tell me he walked away. All right, so Mr. Hee, from what he's coming. Is he coming? Is he coming? There he is. Is that H-E-H-E, right? H-E-H-E? Mr. H-E-H-E. You can find him on Instagram, social media. He's a black conservative, and I'm sorry that I have to use the color of your skin before it, but you know what? That's what the liberals like to hear, or not hear, depending on which side of the aisle you're on. But the cool thing about him is he used to work in the entertainment industry, which we all know is extremely liberal. And real quick to end the show, I want to hear his story about how he kind of was ostracized out of the entertainment industry and what he's doing now.
So just one thing before we start is it reminds me of when we first came out against the BLM, and so much of the entertainment that we had here at the store would not come and perform here at Seat the Table because of the stance that I took against it. So this is just where I realized I never even knew that, like, throughout the whole entertainment industry locally, like in the small level that we were dealing with, that there was the culture shaming thing existed so predominantly through that. So
it was all a strategy. Obama was like, he was put there for this experience of the black culture. It's like, wow, we have a black president. It's like, this is historical. I look up to this guy.
Were you a Democrat then?
I wasn't into politics, but I did vote for Obama.
And quickly changed to Trump. You're rocking the Trump 2020 tag.
I didn't vote for him the second term. You know, I started
learn from your mistakes.
Yeah. I saw the circle he was connected with, and then I started connecting the dots, and I'm like, I think Obama's the Antichrist, but that's a whole different story.
All right, so tell us as a black man and who's working in a very liberal elite industry, how you ended up becoming a Trump supporter and a conservative.
When I saw things when people started telling you who to vote for without telling you why.
Yep.
You understand me? And I'm a critical thinker.
Talk nice and close to the mic.
I'm sorry. I'm a critical thinker.
The liberals don't like critical thinkers.
You know, I'm a critical thinker. And then things were forced on me and certain jobs were taken from me because of where I stood. And that's when I really started investigating, our president. Because for a second, they had me believing, oh, Trump is a racist. Because this is what happened. What happens? The average American, you go to work, you come home, you watch the news. You see CNN. Trump is a racist. David Duke endorses Trump. And you're like, wow, damn, I didn't know Trump is a racist. Shit. You make the kids dinner, you help them with the homework, you go to bed, you go to work, and that's the talk when you go to work. Yeah, did you hear the news last night? Trump's racist. Yeah, that's crazy, right? You go. So now you want to go back and watch the news. You're dependent on the news, and that's what's happening now. A lot of people are dependent on the news.
The people, the Democrat Party, the liberals, they prey on people that will never, ever scratch past the surface.
Yeah, absolutely. And I took it beyond that because there was a lot of people that I worked with who opened a lot of doors for me to feed my family, and they weren't black. Not that I expected it to come from a black person. It's just that the people who I work with and that brought me around their families, they weren't. And I didn't even know where they stood on a political scale. Thank you very much. And then when I later found out, we're
alcoholics on this show.
I don't mind, right? And when I later found out they supported Trump, I'm like, you like Trump? They're like, yeah.
Oh my God, this is a great point. So, just because you vote for Trump doesn't mean you're this sexist, xenophobe, racist person the media says you are.
Because these people weren't they weren't black. They range from Jewish, Italian, Taiwanese, however you say it, Chinese, even a few Chinese Republicans in America. They vouch for Trump. They know China is a communist country and they support it.
Every person that we see that comes from these communist countries, they come up to me on so much in this store, like hundreds of people from Venezuela, from Cuba, and they know what's going on because they know what time it is. They've been through it.
Yes.
And it's so sad that there's so many uneducated, and they really do. The the Democrat Party, the liberals, prey on the people that will never, ever scratch past the headline. Often the articles that you see, if you read the article, they actually do tell some of the truth, believe it or not. But most of them don't even read that. They just read the headline.
Yeah, that's all.
That's part of the reason why I quit. And I know Drew, who's in a similar boat as you, would love to ask you a question. Drew, go for it.
Well, I want to know what you say at this particular point to everyone who looks like you, who is on the fence with regard to why
Not many
they
good-looking men like him around. Now, come on.
Listen, I don't got any more money for drinks, so if that's what you're looking for, I can't help you. You can just let
Alfie owns the place. We got a free bar tab.
So
hey, listen, don't buy me a drink. You compliment me like that.
The question is twofold. Is what do you say to people who look like you are on the fence to this whole conservative movement, number one?
Yeah.
And then number two, what do you say to the people who were on this side of the fence that you're new on? What do you say to them about where you stand and why?
And that's a good question, because I have to do it a lot, because when I stand on this fence and when I start speaking the truth, a lot of people who look like me, they say, wow, I just find it crazy how you could just, speak bad about your own kind. And when I hear that, my own kind, they're talking about skin color. And I have to remind them that I'm not a slave to my color. I'm a servant of God. You understand me? And I got to remind them that also, like, that's why we get snaked a lot. If you listen to the rap music, it's always about, my man snaked me. My man backstabbed me. That's because we fallen victim to this, like we're so distracted by racism, and we're not looking at the bigger picture, like we everything got to be based on color, and a lot of the times it's not their fault. Like, what we need in this world, all of us, white, black, everyone, we need empathy, so we can even understand why some of these people are lost, because black people, the emotions have been played with. The history was like fabricated, everything, and they're being manipulated now with the BLM movement. It's not even fabricated by like a black person. You understand me? It's fabricated by an entity that wants division in America, and that's what it's all about. It's all about manipulation, because if you lead a protest with a color, that's division right there. It doesn't work. Well, that's black supremacy.
Perfect example you see in the media that I always debunk every time. Whenever a white person's shot, it's never white man killed by cops.
And that happens more.
And whenever a black person's killed by cops, which you're right, it does. There is more white people killed. You're actually almost double the amount of white people are killed each year by police officers in violent situations. But whenever a black person's killed by the cops, what's the headline? Black man,
white cop, and that's all black people see. And I see things on social media. They'll post something. They'll say, "Oh, this one happened to a white man," and then they'll show a video of a white man acting crazy with the police. And he'll have a knife, and the police will be running from the white guy with the knife, like, drop the knife, for like 10 minutes. The guy chased, and they'll be like, "Oh wow, if he was black, that would never happen." And then I have to show them videos like of white cops shooting white men with knives. And then I have to show white cops abusing their authority with white people. It's not
a skin color
exactly
thing.
It's a crazy thing. They abuse their power. And
there's always those pesky facts that get in the way of these arguments. And that's the problem. And they can the problem is the media has done what it's done, because if you say the same lie over and over enough times, it becomes the truth, and that is what they count on.
Yeah. And I have to go to the secondary question. The secondary question is just as important as the first question, because here's the thing. Because I stand on the same fence.
Yes.
Right. So on one side, because of the color of my skin, I should be on this side of the fence. So I have to face that on this side. No, I'm not, because I'm conservative, right? But at the same time, now I'm on the other side of the fence. And because I'm on the other side of the fence, they carry sometimes the same sentiment that because of the color of my skin, I should be over there and I'm an infiltrator over here. So here's the thing. There's only a couple colors that we should all see. They're red, white, and blue. So I need you to answer the next side of the question, because if people on the conservative side don't accept fellow patriots who are fighting for the same cause, for the same purpose as the other side rejects, then we still have a big problem.
And you know what? And I'm happy you're speaking on that, because that's something that isn't mentioned a lot, and I don't even mention it a lot myself, because I'm so focused on making sure the people who look like us understand it. Right. You understand me? Right. And there's some people who don't look like us who have to understand it also, because we know racism does exist. We would be lying if we just act like it doesn't exist. You know, but the more we do stuff like this, it silences the racism. You know, we silence it. We silence it because the majority of this country, of the majority of white people in this country since hundreds of years ago wasn't racist, because if they were, we would, like, black people would still be slaves. You know, like there would still be the Jim Crow laws. That goes to show you the majority of the country didn't want that. You understand me? So why are we burning down a country when the majority of a country believes in what the Pledge of Allegiance stands for?
Let me tell you something from my own experience. And this is why I think that they came out against Donald Trump so viciously, is because Donald Trump exemplified the same principles that Ronald Reagan did. It was of us coming back and loving our country. We listened to Rick Castro say it. What did Donald Trump bring? He brought us to love our country again. And when I'm of the Reagan era, I was a Reaganite. When Reagan came in, I watched the least amount of racial divide that we've ever had in our country occur after 4 years of Reagan. If you remember the songs were "We Are the World." We watched everybody unite. We were all Americans. We joined together as Americans. And what the Democratic Party, what the liberals realized is when Donald Trump got elected, they realized that he was going to bring that same American values back to our country, and that was actually going to dampen any racial divide, because Obama did more to increase the racial divide of any president that we've ever had in my lifetime, and that Donald Trump, through patriotism, was going to reduce that. And what did they have to do? Immediately, they had to start throwing him out as a racist. He was embraced by the black community. They knew what was going to happen. They're not idiots. It wasn't by chance. They had to come up with the BLM. They had to come up with all these different things to start dividing us, because they knew if they left it to its own device that it was actually that Donald Trump was going to unite us like Ronald Reagan did.
Yep, absolutely.
And kind of the last point I want to bring up, and then we're going to start wrapping up because we are well beyond our time now, is why is it only white people have to pay for the sins of our ancestors? Every single color skin, every single race, every single group of humans have conquered, raped, tortured, and enslaved each other.
Absolutely. Turkey in Europe.
Turkey right now.
It's a Muslim country.
Africa right now is
Morocco,
enslaving each other.
Even right now. But check this out, right? Turkey is a Muslim country. And those are like European Muslims, right? They look just like you, and they're Muslims. You know why? Because the Arab slave trade, which was hundreds of years before the Atlantic slave trade, the Arabs, the Northern Africans, they would go to Europe and they would enslave. There would be wars or whatever, or they just deboat them. Like, hey, listen, this is my land, that's my girl. Come here, you know, like you my girl now. Hey, no more of that religion. You turn into this religion, and to this day, that's what there are. Because of that, somewhere down the line. Like I tell people this all the time. History is foul everywhere. Like Morocco and Northern Africa. That's a northern part of Africa where the Africans they look Arabic and they're like an Arabic pale Arabic skin or whatever.
So they look different, so they enslave them.
That's because the Northern Africans went to Europe, they stole people and enslaved them in Africa. And that's why certain countries in Africa you have certain features of people. Look up Hannibal in Sicily.
But I always make this point all the time. I'm very Irish, and I'm very proud of my Irish heritage. And I'm like, hold on. Our people have been dragged through the mud for centuries. And when we came over to America, we were the scum of the earth.
What? They treated
Where's my reparations?
They treated Irish people and blacks just the same.
Yeah. They were literally viewed upon as the same. And I'm like, okay, we're going to point the finger at white people in general. why can't we point the finger at everyone for all their ancestors?
Actually, Irish
problems?
were the white slaves, actually.
And let's take this back even further, because the last time I checked, Moses went to do what?
Free the slaves.
Let's take this way back. Yep. And I was just reading the book the other day. I finished the book by Candace Owens called Blackout. I finally finished that book on the trip up. But there was a question that was posed in there, and that was the same question that we're talking about right now. Slavery legally doesn't exist in America. It still exists in these other countries, even the predominantly black countries.
Africa.
Right? Legally,
India.
at this particular point. So we need to get outside of the confines of what the narrative people are trying to tell us is. And we need to focus on what this country was founded on. We didn't all get it right the first time, right? But they built in things within our Constitution that allowed us to get it right. And we're closer to right now than we've ever been. But everyone is telling us, and the narrative is telling us that we are not, that we're further away, that we're more divided. It's a lie. Fundamentally, it's a lie. This room represents it. This table represents it. And as soon as we stand up as people and understand that it's a lie and stop accepting the narrative that's being portrayed, the moment we'll take back this country, pure and simple.
Absolutely.
And to what you say, the reason that they keep propagating this and they even want to go back generational is for one reason. It's the same as the mass, the same as the BLM. It's all about divide, and it's all about dividing us because they can't have us divided if they want to, further their narrative. And I don't even think, forget about what did my generational people do that was bad. Forget, I can't even imagine myself being graded by the character of my 3 or 4 generations back. Any sane person knows that I shouldn't even be, you shouldn't determine what kind of a person I am, even by my own father. And if you want to go one step further, I'm not the same person that I was when I was 15 or 20 or 30 or 40 years old. Everyone should be determined, like the great Martin Luther King said, by the content of their character. And that character changes throughout your life and throughout your generations. And for them to start, grading all of us or saying that society has to be this way because of the way that our grandparents or our great-great-grandparents were, it's insanity. And it's only for one reason. It's for divide.
Thank you very much, Alfie. And Mr. Hee, tell us where we can find you on social media and check you out.
Hey, I'm on Instagram as the real period Mr. MR period Hee H-E-H-E.
All righty, thank you very much, Mr. Hee. Guys, sorry we went a little over, but it was a great show, nice full show. Why does everyone go to shake your hand first? What is this? I know he owns the place, but God. All right.
You were talking.
I got the free beer.
What are they chatting?
We want more.
We want more.
I think we do need a rapid fire. There's a lot of things going on right now that we need rapid fire.
All right, Drew, go rapid fire. Go.
We need some rapid fire just because we can't get into it tonight now because we've gone over. But I think it's been a great show. But there's a couple things that people need to be aware of, and I think Brendan will fill in some of the gaps, right? So we have Arizona State Senate.
Sorry. Go ahead.
The Arizona State Senate subpoenaed a specific county with regard to forensic evidence, right? So that's something that we need to keep in mind over the next week. And this particular county that they have now called for a forensic analysis of makes up, I think, 3/5 of the state's voting population. So that's something we need to keep in mind at this particular point. We have Canada was another big one, right? Because China was in Canada, and the Department of Defense in China, whatever they call, they actually admitted to the fact that they have had people from the, what is that thing called? The People's Liberation Army were actually viewing military exercises up there in Canada. That is our border. That's important. We have 2 Supreme Court cases that are on the docket right now. They have not chose to see them, but they're on the docket. So guess what? We need to go look at those, and we need to be mindful of what happens on that docket. There are just several things that have outlined. We have an accusation that Zuckerberg from Facebook has used his funds to do what? To violate federal election law. That's something else we need to keep in mind. So we don't have time to get into it, but these are all things that each one of you need to go research and understand and actually read the actual cases that have been proposed that are on the Supreme Court docket so you understand what's happening as we move forward.
We will never give up. We keep the faith. No matter what, keep the faith. It's not over till it's over, and we're going to keep fighting. And no matter what, there is more people awake than ever before, and we have to be the change that we want to see.
You shut me down, dog.
I did.
I'm gonna say
you
one last thing.
Your time.
I'm gonna say one last thing, and I love to say this. You know, we got to remember this, right? When this country was first founded, there was a lot of things that was wrong. We understand that, and it wasn't called the United States of America because it became the United States of America because of the things that were wrong here. It was division here. It was slavery. There was a lot of division. When it became the United States of America, it was about unity. You know, like these oaths and these pledges and these constitutions. And for years, the constitutions have changed when more evil was exposed. Like, it's like, all right, they're doing this. All right, cool. We're going to make sure they don't do this to black people. I know somebody on their job, they would call it N-word, and they got a 6-figure lawsuit, and they still work there. Shit. Call me this motherfucker. Shit, yeah, man. Shit, go give it to me now. Give it to me. Come on, bring it on, general manager. Give it to me. But anyhow, you know, like we are strong, united. That's why we are the United States. So that's why our like the biggest threat right now is everything we talk about BLM, divisive, because we are the United States of America. And let's keep it that way, man. We're all children of God.
And we're going to make sure our message is loud and clear on January 16th, where we are rallying in front of Naples Daily News, right at their front doorstep, right on the corner of Immokalee Road and 41 here in Naples, North Naples. January 16th at 1 p.m. I'll be there. Alfie will be there. Drew Montez Clark will be there.
I'll be there. I'm handing out free beer.
Alfie's handing
I'm going to hand out cards for free beer back at Seed the Table afterwards.
Free beer coupons at Seed the Table. Come out. We are tired of being censored. We are tired of not being listened to. We are going to take the fight to them.
If you like free beer and you don't like fake news, come out and see it.
Oh, definitely.
Please come out and support and share and tell all your friends. I'll be releasing the event on my page tomorrow. Brendan Leslie, Brendon is how you spell Brendan. Find me on Facebook. The event will be out there. And hey, by the way, we're about a month away from me releasing our conservative patriotic news network, Unbossed Reporting here in Southwest Florida. We are going to take back the narrative, and we're gonna, you know what? We're gonna create our own future because that's where we're going, and we're gonna fight back against this socialism. All right, thank you very much.
This new slogan that's really good, "Make America Great Again." Why don't we do that?
We're gonna take that. I think that might be trademarked already. All right, thank you very much to everyone that came out tonight. It was our biggest crowd yet to date. Everyone at home at Facebook, make sure you share this. Thank you very much to our guests, great patriots as always. See us next Tuesday. The next 2 weeks, we are here Tuesday, not Thursday. Due to Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, Tuesday, 7 to 8 p.m. we'll be live. And then in January, we'll be back to Thursdays from 7 to 8 p.m. Hope to see you there.
My brother, Brandon, thank you for having me.
Thank you.